Hey, yes. Ooh. Oh, where I'm like, oh no, please don't do that. And then I'm seeing them groove. I'm like, yeah. K-pop. Hey, we're swinging heels. Ooh, did we swing heels and then we wobble some knees? How we're all like angels with one wing, and the idea is by holding each other, by supporting each other, then you're able to fly. So it's Chain Reactions, it's tripleS, Girls Never Die. Shout out to Newbie Warrior and everybody who supported that recommendation on Discord. Normally I put recommendations in a list, but since this just came out today, I figured I might as well try to stay relevant. Even though that doesn't say today's date. Okay. I'm not crazy, they're crazy. I know it's a 24-member group, so I have no idea what to expect from that, but let's do it. Okay. Wow. Ooh. Let's go. Yo. You ever been that thirsty? You just throw back a giant bottle of water. Wow, okay. Hey, you know what? I'm gonna own up to something real quick. I'm glad they were burying me alive in the beginning of this video, because I came into this expecting some, you know, it's 20,000 young ladies. I thought it was gonna be like bubblegum pop or something like that, and maybe it'll become something like that, but these lyrics and this tone is not that. This is definitely something else. I like what they're saying, so I'm gonna own up to that right up front. Damn, I'm thirsty. That's heavy, that's real. Okay. Hey, yes. Okay. Oh, that's a messy fucking room. Oh, shit. Oh shit. Okay. Ooh. Oh! Wow. Oh. Alright, now that I know she didn't actually get hit by the car, I can do what I try. This is crazy imagery. Like, this is some heavy stuff. This is tripleS. Girls Never Die. Struggling. Yo, they're doing really interesting things with their vocals, and the imagery is very striking. And you know, holding yourself underwater, that obviously represents a lot of feelings that could lead someone to feeling that way when they're by themselves. Then, you know, the young lady standing in the car almost hitting her, and her just kind of standing there, whether it's frozen from fear or indifference. The lyrics are kind of heavy. The notes are really nice. What I think is interesting what they're doing is that this is it's very dynamic. It's got a structure clearly, but there's a lot of bouncing on, like they're bouncing around between different sounds, different melodies, different cadences. We'll see if that continues or if this goes somewhere else, but I think they're using the numbers in an interesting way. And then to go from those images to this image where I'm like, oh no, please don't do that. And then I'm seeing them groove. I'm like, yeah, K-pop. Yes. Okay. Woo. Hey. Ooh. Fuck it up. Hey, we're swinging heels. Ooh, did we swing heels and then we wobble some knees? Yeah, I think we did. Ooh, okay. Hey. Hold on, that shit was dope. Okay. Whoa. She was like, is there room for one more? And she was like, not really. Okay. Oh, okay. Ooh. Wow. Oh, hey. Ooh. Wow. The idol of all possibilities. Interesting. Okay, so there are definitely a lot of moments that I was like, oh, but then they immediately cut to moments where I'm like, hey, they definitely. I've been saying it in a lot of my recent recordings. These are the kinds of things that you can do with full-length songs. So thank you to tripleS. I guess you need a full-length song to give even one line to that many people, but they did some really interesting things, I think. Like I said, they used the numbers that they had to increase the dynamic feel of the song, that even though it had a structure and, we had kind of lower tempo versus higher energy chorus and then verse and then chorus, it was, it wasn't a crazy structure, but to mix it up the way they did, to play around, there was different melodies, there was different background notes, there were different cadences when they were doing the more spoken word kind of stuff, almost a little rap cadence a couple of times. So very interesting, some really interesting notes. It was managed to be unpredictable despite fitting into what felt like kind of a normal song structure. So that was very interesting. And then we'll play through it again, but they also did very striking things with their formations. It looks like a very well rehearsed, very well funded flash mob when they're doing the full group stuff, and it's very striking, especially some of the creative stuff they did. Interesting, like the crowd noises, that's cool. And then the falling dead birds, striking, if nothing else. Didn't expect something like this. And then that's them burying me alive for having made the assumption, and I apologize. The assumption was going to be like bubblegum pop, Yeah, I like this instrumental a lot too. And I like the idea of girls never die, girls never cry. Like, obviously, not to be taken literally as you show someone crying. And as far as I know, immortality hasn't been figured out. But let me know if I've missed something. But I like the idea of it. I like the message of it. It's you know, it's this idea of like hiding that you're upset or powering through, that you can't feel what you're feeling sometimes, but even though you actually are. So, you know, that's that real stuff that I know idols must deal with all the time. Not just idols, any celebrities, but idols specifically seem a little less inclined, or at least a little less able to express a lot of those things. A lot of times it's a very polished, very, you know, I don't really know how else to say it without saying that it's like they're being censored, but that's what it feels like. That it's like, come on, I know you're not always happy. I know that things go wrong. I know that things have to suck sometimes. Just share that, and I know that it's not always up to them, but I like that they're doing that. Not liking the weak you, not wanting to show that part of yourself, that's very relatable. Talking about makeup and filters to hide things and to demonstrate a different image, but I like this little move. So you did it again. You're talking about filters and makeup to, you know, hide a certain part of you, to not be vulnerable. But then you're gonna get me fucking moving with this nice little footwork? Hey. Yes. Interesting imagery. And that's right, you talk about the dreams, and then to get what you want, you know, there's obviously boundaries. You have to exercise self-care, and this is where, especially for young people in any music industry, wherever you are, a lot of times the idea is that you have to go through certain things to get what you want. And then while there is a degree of truth to that, it's also used and twisted by people, like telling them, like, listen, you have to do this, you have to deal with this, you have to accept this, because that's the way that you're going to get what you want. And it's taking a twist on a reality and making it basically into a power dynamic thing where people feel like they have to put up with things, they can't set boundaries. So I think this is all very real. Beautiful sound with sad lyrics. I like that though. That's right, stand up even though you fall. I like that motivational, aspirational kind of message. Love that shit. Yes. Love the attitude, a little bit of sass in there. The other thing is that you might think, and you're probably not, but I do, you might think, wait, didn't you just say you like it when it's real and you talk about heavy stuff, so why do you like the positive? Because when you acknowledge the negative stuff, you acknowledge the heavy stuff, you acknowledge the problems, then the uplifting message has weight behind it. Because if you just say everything's cool, persevere, be great, be happy, but you don't actually acknowledge any of the other stuff, it loses a little something. This acknowledges it. It acknowledges what's tough, it acknowledges the difficulty, but then it also says, but when we fall, we stand up, we power through, we push through the pain and the trials, and we get what we want. Ooh, and this nice little dance break with this instrumental. Yes. And I like the cuts, I like the images. There's attitude, there's cuteness, there's silliness. This is really, I like this a lot. Hey, very cool. And I like the imagery, you know, friends supporting friends. I think that's very nice. And this is the kind of striking imagery that you can do with these numbers, that it's like reaching out of like a mass. It could be, in other videos, that could have been something. She could have been pushing through something, a barrier, could have been mud or water, but you're able to use the bodies to build that set using the personnel, which makes it a living set. It's very cool. And while at first I thought that was terrible to see, what I do think is interesting is that it looks like they each have one wing. And I don't know where it comes from, but there's some phrase or some saying about how we're all like angels with one wing, and the idea is by holding each other, by supporting each other, then you're able to fly. So I think that's a play on that. And then I'm hoping that's them. And the nice vocals in the background. Yes. Woo! I like that spoken "never cry." I like that because that adds a little bit of a punch to it. I like the idea. The way that I'm choosing to read this is in that theory of you each have one wing. You can't fly with one wing, right? So you combine and then you make a whole bird or angel, whatever the imagery is supposed to be. So they basically take a leap, and taking a leap represents taking a chance, doing something difficult, stepping out of your comfort zone, and they're supporting each other in doing that, and then they fly together. So I actually think it's kind of a dark setup and kind of a dark premise and literally a dark scene, but I do think that it's a very nice idea, at least what I'm choosing to get out of it. Yes, and then the vocals kind of pick up. It gets a little more soaring as a bird literally soars. We say, gonna go all the way, not gonna give up this time. Now we're building up somewhere. We started off talking about not being confident, using filters, all that stuff, and now we're getting somewhere. We're literally getting from a start to a destination, because you can do that in a fucking full-length song. Yes. She looks free and happy. I'm coming out of the grave, I think. And I like this dance moment with the silhouettes, that like there's so many of them, so instead of trying to give everybody the focus, they zoom out and it's like you don't know who's who, and it's just as one giant unit, and I think that's very interesting. Just to quickly drop down and one person stays standing though, which is kind of funny. Yes, the layering. Uh-huh. Very dramatic, those group moments. I think they did a really good job with that. It's got a lot of power, the way that it's got kind of that interpretive sort of movements to it, especially when they're wearing those very simplistic outfits. Yeah. And then I'm choosing to believe those feathers falling are because all them young ladies spread their respective wings or combined wings or whatever, and they're soaring in the sky right now, and then just feathers falling to the ground. So very interesting, a ton going on. So please let me know. I might be reaching, I might be making some stuff up. People might know and think of things that I'm not knowing or thinking of. But definitely share that with me. You can share the list of names if you want to type out 24 names. I guarantee you I won't remember it for the next one, but I can try. And yeah, very interesting. Let me know any other interpretations for this. But yeah, OT24, I guess. I do think that one maybe consequence is that I don't know how... It's going to be hard to get to know them with everyone getting like a snippet, unless it's going to be like NCT, which breaks out into units, and you know, like NCT 127 and Dream, and then they do You, and then, you know, so you can do that and get to know them differently. So I'm assuming that's going to be what this is. It's like a version of that, or an idea. I'm not saying anyone's. Let me People are going to be like, they're not copying. I'm not saying they are. I'm just saying it reminds me. So let me know anyway. I thought that was really cool. I thought it was really interesting. I liked what they did with it. It was very dynamic. It was interesting. I think I said interesting 7 times because I meant it. But yeah, I was wrong about it being bubblegum pop. It wasn't that feel. It wasn't that vibe. The lyrics were a lot heavier than that. And I appreciate that. I love being wrong. So shout out to them, and shout out to everyone that suggested I listen to this. And like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you want to see next. And until next time, stay fresh.